Hello YouTube, I'd like to show my Magic the Gathering decks that I recently finished updating. And first we'll just go ahead and start off with the basic lands. I have 9 blue lands, or islands, and I have 8 forests. And there's a reason that I have more islands than I do forests. I have a lot of creatures that give me green mana, Llanowar Elf, Whisper of the Wilds with Ferocious, and Karmitra's Acolyte, which I'll go more in depth about in a sec. Anyway, let's go off. Start off with just my lands. One Rogue's Passage. I can put one into my mana pool, and this creature can't be. And for 4 mana, target creature can't be blocked this turn, which is really helpful. And Lumbering Falls. Enter the battlefield tapped. Add blue or green in mana to my mana pool. We'll do spells now. I have 4 Fogs, and it's an instant for 1 mana. I can prevent all combat damage to be dealt that turn. It is really helpful if you don't have anything to block or your creatures are tapped for whatever reason. Anyways, I have 1 Clone Legion, and I can put a token copy for every creature I control on the battlefield. And it's really good for just basically doubling your board. It costs 9. Next, I have Part the Water Veil, and it's just for 6 mana. I can take an extra turn after this one, but I have to exile it, and it has Awaken 6. And I can pay 9 mana, or no, sorry. Yeah, 9 mana, and I can put 6 1+1+ counters on the land and put haste on it, and it still is a land. I have 2 Cackling Counterparts. For 3 mana, I can put a token under the battlefield as a copy of a creature I control. I have 4 Whisper Silk Cloaks. It's an artifact, and for 3 mana, my equipped creature is unblockable and has Shroud, meaning it can't be the target of spells or abilities. I have 4 Spectral Flights. For 2, it's a 2 costing, and I can enchant a creature. It stays and it gets 2+2+ and flying. This is really helpful making creatures get big, and if you want to help smaller creatures like maybe Whisper of the Wilds or Karmitra's Acolyte not die. Anyways, I have 2 Niece's Renewals. It's a 6 costing. I can search my library for 3 basic lands. I put them onto the battlefield tapped, and I can gain 7 life. It's really helpful. And Retreat to Kazandu is an enchantment with landfall. I can put a 1+1+ counter on a creature, and I can gain 2 life. Back to these. This adds 1 green mana to a mana pool. For 1 mana, it's a 1/1, and it's a pretty good ability, especially for early game. Whisper of the Wilds with add 1 to my mana pool, if I control a creature with 4 or greater, I can add 2. And 4 Karmitra's Acolytes, and for 4 mana, it's a 1/4, and I can add any amount of. I can add 1, or I can add any amount of, or can add an amount of green mana equals to the amount of green mana already in my mana pool. So if I controlled like 2 of these, and there's and maybe like 3 forests, and it's basically 5 mana. This already basically counts as 5 mana, so it's really good for getting your board pretty big. And back onto my rest of my creatures. I have 2 Undergrowth Champions, and for 3 mana, it's a 2/2 with landfall. Whenever land is battlefield, I can put 1+1+ counter on an Undergrowth Champion, and if damage were to be dealt on it, I can remove a 1+1+ counter to basically negate that damage. It's really helpful, especially for keeping that creature alive, or making it practically invincible. Anyways, I have 2 Tremocritus. It's a 7 costing for an 8/8. And Tremocritus has hexproof unless it's blocking or attacking, and if I attack, all defending creatures a player controls have to block it. Anyways, I have a Plated Crusher. It's a 7 costing or 7/6 with trample and hexproof. I have 1 Engulfing Slagworm. It's a 7 mana for a 7/7, and when Engulfing Slagworm becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature, and I can gain life equal to that creature's toughness. That's really, it's a useful card, very helpful. And I have 1 Legion of the Tangle. It's an 8 mana for an 8/8 with trample, and 1 Legion of the Tangle deals combat damage to a player. I can choose any amount of lands and put an awakening counter on them, and put 8 put 8 1/1/1 counters on it, and it's still a land. It's pretty good, and it's really good for how if you can use them as basically cannon fodder against your enemy. 1 Ulamog's Crusher, 8 mana, and 8/8 with Annihilator 2. And whenever this attacks, target a defending player sacrifices 2 permanents. Stormtide Leviathan, it's an 8 costing for an 8/8, and it has Island Walk, and this creature can't be blocked as long as the defending player controls an island. And when this enters the battlefield, all lands in addition turn into islands. And my last creature is Desolation Twin. It's a 10 costing for a 10/10, and when I cast it, I can put a token copy of that creature into the battlefield. So it's really helpful. Anyways, this is my blue-green aggro. Thank you for watching.